to your seat.
Hello everybody, this is a message from Iyayi Efenayi Foundation. My name is Dr. Caesar Osayeni Iyayi. I am not a medical doctor, I'm an academic doctor. But I would like to discuss a few things with you, very critical things concerning the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, we've heard a lot about how to prevent COVID-19 from happening to us. But we have not heard enough about how we will be able to manage the situation at home. Should it be that the hospital or medical system in Nigeria will be unable to accommodate everybody? It has happened in America, it has happened in Britain, and we don't know what the future looks like. I have taken time to carry out some research, and what I'm about to tell you, everything is based and predicated on empirical data. To begin with, we are already familiar with the treatment protocol of NCDC. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing I want to add to that is that the vitamin D that people are exposed to when they get sunlight, the period that they expose our people to is for 15 minutes between the hours of 10 and 11 a.m. Studies have indicated that for white people, 15 minutes is sufficient. But for black people, we have to stay there for over 1 hour. Now, this is the issue regarding vitamin D. We all know that vitamin D is useful for the absorption of calcium and phosphorus. But there's a new concern in Norway and a lot of cities in America. People found out that many black people were dying disproportionately to the population compared to the white people. And what is the commonality between all these black people? They lack vitamin D. They are vitamin D deficient. The same scenario played itself out in Norway, where a group of Ethiopians that are black, they are domiciled in this particular region in Norway. They found that those people constitute less than 1% of the population. But however, about 48% of the deaths in Holland is attributed to that less than 1% of the population. We know that the primary function of vitamin D, like I said, is to aid the absorption of calcium and phosphorus. But it is also linked to promotion of immunity. So what I want to advocate at this point is that if our people cannot be allowed to stay under the sun at the NCDC center for more than 15 minutes, then they should be given a vitamin D supplement. The vitamin D3. It is inexpensive, contains 1,000 international units. That's how vitamin D is measured in international units. I'm not too sure whether they are giving them zinc. I know they are getting vitamin E. So zinc is also very important in the buildup of immunity. So, what is new that I have to tell you? What we now found out, particularly from the studies in Italy, where they did autopsy on more than 300 patients or so. I can't remember the exact figure. They found that they had blood clot in their veins. People in the medical field refer to it as thrombosis. But we that are not in the medical field, we know it as blood clot. And that is why what I'm about to tell you is responsible for why the governors of New York and other American cities are not asking for ventilators anymore. Because if the circulatory system is blocked with blood clot, there's no use for respirators. And what is the treatment for this coagulation, this blood clot? It is simple, anticoagulant. An example of anticoagulant is aspirin. So what I'm telling you is that should you find yourself in a situation where you are unable to get treatment, you start treating yourself immediately. You find out that you are coughing or you have sore throat, you start with anticoagulation. Why is that important? If your blood circulatory system is functioning, you can hardly die of coronavirus, because coronavirus is it's not like cancer that is spreading. It has a lifespan of only 14 days or so. So if you can keep yourself alive by allowing your blood to circulate, you'll be alive. So this is a very critical point that I want you to remember. There are other things I want to talk about. It is a bit on the offside. Many people will regard it as something that is not to be practiced in modern day era, but it makes sense. I know a lot of doctors and nurses in Nigeria, in America, in Europe, that are using this system to deal with coronavirus. What we know about coronavirus is that at 27 degrees Celsius, some people say 57 degrees Celsius, the coronavirus will not be able to survive. So what we did, or what our grandparents did when we were children, they would get a hot bucket of water, sit it in front of you, because water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. They sit it in front of you, give you a small stool, and cover you completely with blanket. Because you must breathe, you'll be breathing in very hot steam that will be maybe about 70 degrees Celsius. And in that case, it's going into your lungs, and coronavirus is supposed to be forming inflammation in your lungs. So that is another way to address it. I know that all the doctors that I know in America, when they go to their offices, they return home, the first thing they do is to sit down and cover themselves with blanket and hot water. But I don't know why they are not talking about it. I don't know what's the reason. They are doing it, and because they are doing that, they are able to go to work freely without interruption. White people that don't have such information, I don't know why they are not able to add 1 + 1 to be equal to 2. They already know that coronavirus cannot survive more than 57 degrees Celsius. I fail to see why they cannot apply their common sense. We are talking about how we in Nigeria here can survive. And these are the points that are put together on behalf of EIA Foundation. The last point I want to mention is that coronavirus, when the white blood cell in the lungs reacts, they cause inflammation, because our white blood cells will try to attack the virus where they are domiciled in our lungs, and thereby they kill the virus and they cause little blood clots or thrombosis. They eventually travel into our circulatory system. 3 days ago on CNN, they showed a picture of a woman who was crying about the impending death of her husband. Her husband was a Broadway actor in New York. He had been in admission since March. He was put into medically induced coma, and when they got his leg amputated, they did a study on that leg, and they found out that it was filled with blood clot. So blood clot is a serious problem. To treat this, you use anticoagulant like aspirin. I personally use clopidogrel. So if you want to know, go to your doctor, and he will recommend the proper anticoagulant that you will take. These are the issues. I want to leave you with a lot of optimism and wish you a happy survival. Those of us that are talking about it, we don't know what our fate will be, but we believe that we should share whatever information we have with everybody. It should not be limited to only our family. So this is our hand of fellowship that we're extending to you. We wish you the best and wish you happy survival. We as Nigerians, we are going to make it. Nothing is going to stop us. We already see our people. We expected that by now, maybe about 1 million people will be dead in Nigeria. Again, Nigeria, the spirit of Nigeria, we have demonstrated to the rest of the world that we are capable of surviving the most difficult of tragedies that you can ever imagine. I thank you a lot. I wish you the best. I wish Nigeria the best. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This message is from EIA Foundation. To stay alive, the blood